I want to, New Jack, you told us last time you were bounty hunting before you got into wrestling, right?
Right.
How old were you when you got into wrestling?
30.
Okay, so you were a little bit older.
I started late.
Yeah. But you'd seen a bunch of shit before that. What was the most fucked up thing you saw before you got into wrestling?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Death, blood, violence.
I mean,
Tour de France.
You get those all into one.
A soccer game in Madrid.
I never saw anybody get. That never happened. I don't think I saw.
Have you seen somebody be killed?
Yeah.
Why'd you say it like you did it?
But I did.
Oh, you killed somebody?
When I bounty hunted.
You killed somebody bounty hunting?
I shot the fuck out of him. It was either him or me.
You know that?
No, I didn't know this.
That before that.
Lorenzo Lamas
Shit is
never
all
did
over the
that.
goddamn internet.
3 justifiable homicides. That's
Or they just had some shit. Somebody posted some shit on the internet. Wrestlers that have killed somebody, and I was number 1.
Yeah. Because you had 4 bodies.
I got 4 bodies from bounty hunting that I shot and killed. It was either me or them. And some smart motherfucker looked it up on the internet and found the shit and posted it. And that shit followed me to this day.
Yeah.
I cannot get away from it.
Did you stack the bodies in a wagon like the Old West? And
No.
bring them in the sheriff's
No.
office?
No, but I had to go to court for it, and then they said it was justified, and this, that, and the other. I had to go do the whole get attorney and all the other bullshit, and I was like, what the fuck?
So they like arrest you, you got to post bail and all that shit? Like,
did you bounty hunt yourself?
Yeah.
you get charged and then you actually have to defend
I got
yourself.
charged, yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's...
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it was crazy, man. I mean, when I bounty hunted, it was just like, dude, we went for broke. I didn't give a fuck. If I had a fucking fade to appear on your ass, I came to get you. And you either goddamn came with me willingly or I would bring you in. I didn't give a fuck.
What is it? You worked for a bail bondsman?
Yeah.
Basically, right? Like,
Yeah.
Were you the bail bondsman also, or you just worked for a bail?
I worked for him.
You worked for him,
I
so
was
you'd have to
independently
go out.
contracted, yeah.
So right, so you get a percentage.
Yeah.
Of what you'd get when you
How
brought
much
him in.
money could you make bounty hunt? That's really interesting. I mean, could you make really good money?
One of those, anyone that would get in a deadly fights and not go to jail.
Put it like this.
A lot.
The biggest bond I had was $500,000.
And you got a percentage of that.
And I got 10%. I got 20% of that.
Whoa.
Do the math.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. What was it? How much was it?
$500,000.
$1,000.
$1 million? So you got
I got 20% of that.
$100,000.
$100,000, yeah. That's crazy.
And that was in one night.
And that's just you or your boss would like get that?
That was just me. That's what I got paid.
Did you have to kill that guy or
No. And it was funny because, I mean, you know, honestly, the people that had like the real fucked up charges, they would be the ones that would come so easy. It'd be so easy to get them to get in your car, put handcuffs on them, and take them to jail. But it's them little bitty motherfuckers that had these little failure to appear traffic charges would be the ones that want to run,
It's interesting.
fight, and bite you and hide. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I had a guy bite me one night. He bit me on my arm.
Jesus.
And I beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean?
Like all this shit for a fucking Hyundai?
Right. And I mean, bro.
Belt ticket?
Right. It was like he had like $1,000 fucking bond.
Jesus.
I got $100 for that shit.
Wow, that's like, yeah, that's what. But
You know what I mean?
But what's the ones you had, the justifiable homicides? Was it all gun?
Yeah.
It was all gun, like they were just coming at you with a gun?
Yeah. It was like they didn't want to go to jail. You know what I mean? One guy came at me. He had a gun that was fucking empty.
Oh.
He pointed at me. He started fucking pulling the trigger.
He thought it had a bullet in it.
I had a Tech 9 Uzi. That's what I hunted with.
What the
Jesus.
fuck?
You know what I mean?
What the fuck were you hunting?
I had a Tech 9 Uzi with a 30-round clip. I was fucking at your ass. I didn't give a fuck. You was going to jail. Bitch, I had bills to pay. I got kids. I got child support, you motherfuckers.
You got Uzi bills, for Christ's sakes. That
down
can't
south?
be cheap.
Jack, this is down south?
Yeah.
Tennessee?
Atlanta.
Now, and Uzi was legal.
Yeah, I mean, it's still considered a pistol. It's considered a handgun.
It's just a semi-automatic.
Yeah. But that's what I had. I had a Tech 9 Uzi with a 30-round clip.
That is not
that
Diamond
motherfucker
Dallas
was-
Page's Atlanta.
It was like this long, and I actually had I had a special made holster for it, and I could carry it under my arm.
Did you name the Uzi?
No, I didn't need to.
like Fort Fairlane, you just go.
But it was like if I came to get you, you was going to fucking jail. I didn't give a fuck. I had to pay bills. That's all it was, bills. All I knew was you had a failure to appear. So I was coming to get you.
How did you get into that? I mean,
You
what?
could go the way you wanted to go. You want to go upright? We go upright. You want to go land in a fucking box? We could take that route too. But that's what I did. And then before that, I sold drugs. So go figure.
I'm trying to figure out what was the toughest job you had. They're all up there.
You know what I mean?
Did a bounty hunter get you and turn your life around? That's the story, right? Go,
You
stop
know,
selling these drugs and come bounty hunt with
Basically,
me.
you know what I'm saying? And
That's the story of Dalton from Roadhouse.
right, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, bro, that's the way it was. You know what I mean? I've never been a 9-to-5 motherfucker. I hadn't worked. The last time I hit a clock was in 85.
Oh, what was this job?
Punching clocks.
I drove a truck.
Robbed clock stores.
I hate clocks.
I drove a truck. That was my job. I drove a truck.
Drove a truck.
Yep, for Circuit City.
For Circuit City.
Yep.
Did this come around?
I drove a truck in Atlanta. Sure did. You know what I mean? And then I started bounty hunting.
And wait, what did you like answer an ad in Craigslist for bounty hunting, or well, I guess
No, it was just people that I knew downtown Atlanta that wanted a bounty hunter. So I started working for them.
You were just a tough motherfucker. They were like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So it's almost like legal. You know what? Like what did Rocky do in the first Rocky movie? He was like he worked for a
He was, like
loan shark.
what do you call that? An enforcer.
Yeah.
Guys go collect.
But
it is basically the same thing. But it's did anybody ever like beat you and get away from a bounty?
The hardest bond jump I had was a lady in Birmingham, Alabama. She ran from me, and she ran from me for 6 months.
Jackie Joyner Kersey.
And I ended up catching her. I ended up catching her in Houston, Texas. And that was the hardest one that I ever had. I mean, I went after motherfuckers for murder, for armed robbery, for the whole 9. But I had this one little old lady that ran from me, and she fucking hid. I went to her house one night in Birmingham, Alabama. This bitch was in the attic. They had pushed her up in the attic.
And she was older.
And I went there and searched the whole house.
Her name was Anne Frank.
By myself. And I couldn't find this bitch from there. And I knew she was in there. And I searched that motherfucking house. I was like, what the fuck? And I couldn't find her. When I caught her in Houston, Texas, she told me, she laughed at me. She said, baby, you remember when you came to Birmingham? I was in the attic. I said, bitch, I ought to slap you upside your motherfucker. She said,
I made you this
Where
sweater.
was she?
huh?
Where was she in the attic? She had like some fucking hiding space?
No,
Like a ninja, she was like holding into the rafters.
you couldn't see.
What, a beat of
from
her
the
sweat
ceiling,
hit your head?
right?
You're-
From the ceiling, I mean, from being downstairs, you couldn't tell they had an attic because it was a small apartment.
Okay.
So she was hiding, and I didn't know they had a goddamn attic. Well, they had pushed the bitch up in the goddamn attic.
Okay, I got it.
You know what I mean? And when I went and I got her in Houston, Texas, she told me, she said, baby, I was in the attic, and you missed me. And when I got that bitch and put her in the back of the car, in the back of my truck, she sung goddamn gospel songs from Houston to Atlanta. And I had to listen to this shit for 12 goddamn hours. This bitch just singing fucking gospel song. And then I told her, I said, you hungry? I stopped at Burger King and got her something to eat.
Oh.
Oh, see, it's like the beginning of a love story.
And she ate her food.
It's a third justifiable homicide. Wait.
She ate her food, and then she went back to singing fucking gospel songs again. Dude, she did this all the way till I got her back to Atlanta, and that bitch actually had nerve to tell me thank you.
How much was that one worth?
It wasn't worth it. It wasn't a lot. It was like $6,000.
Did you arrest Mahalia Jackson,
No.
the queen of gospel?
But you know who I did arrest for real?
Oh,
The keyboard player for Isaac Hayes.
really?
Huh.
No shit.
I arrested her. But here was the catch. I got her in Memphis, Tennessee, right? And I took her back to Atlanta. And I told her, I said, if you can pay your bond, the amount of your bond, plus my pickup fee, I'll let you go. That's all the court want. They want either the body or the money.
Right.
By the time we got back to Atlanta, they had came up with the money. I took her to Greyhound, went to Western Union, and picked up the money, bought that bitch a ticket, put her on a bus, and she went back to Memphis. I let her go
Really?
because they had the money to pay for her bond. And she was Isaac Hayes' keyboard player.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question.
She's a complicated woman.
What stops
Nobody
them from
understand her but New Jack. John Shaft.
What stops them from just saying, "Hey, I'll give you 30% of what you would be, or of the thing"?
No, I mean,
Would people try to pay you off to let them go?
it was times. I mean, you know, like the one that comes to mind. I got this guy. He had been he had jumped bond, and he was wanted for drugs, and he knew he was going to do some time. And he told me, he said, New Jack, when he said New Jack, he said, Jerome, he said, here's my deal. He said, bro, I'm going to prison. He said, so let me pay you not to take me to jail and just give me some time to fucking leave. I will fucking leave this apartment right now. Just let me pay you to fucking leave. So I told him, I said, okay, here's my fee. I said, this is my fee. This is the bond amount. It was like $10,000.
Yeah.
So he ended up paying me all that money. I let him go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I take the money to the bonding company with the bond, give it to them, they take it to court, and they pay the bond off. Well, the guy, he's not wanted no more with the bonding company, but the state is still looking for him.
So you're basically paying the bond back, but
It's not because his problem is not that it's that the guy gets justice. It's that the guy he works for gets his fucking money.
Right, and that's what I did.
hold on. What happens if he does? Here's really what I'm
If
asking.
he don't go to court, that's his goddamn problem.
What happens if the guy that employs you doesn't get his money back? Let's say
No. They paid me his money. They gave me the money to not take him to jail. So when they put the money in my hand, I automatically take it to the bonding company and give it to them. And then I'm like, here's the money for him not going to fucking court.
do you get what I'm saying? Like, couldn't they technically pay you less than they would owe the bonding company, but
No.
more than you would be paid?
No,
And that doesn't make sense?
no.
Okay.
They pay
I
me.
lost you. I don't get what you're saying.
I don't either.
No, because he has to tell the he gets the money. Like,
The bonding company, okay. The bond is a certain amount. So here's my deal.
Let's say it's $10,000, the bond.
$10,000. Okay, if you're within the state, it's 10%. If you're out of state, it's 20%. Okay, so they pay me the 10% is in state, plus the court costs. Okay, plus the bond amount. So the bond amount is $10,000. They willing to pay $10,000.
Yeah.
They don't want to go to jail.
But here's what I'm asking you. You would get paid $2,000 if it's off state.
Right.
Why wouldn't the person go, hey, New Jack, here's $4,000. Let me fucking bounce.
No,
And you just pocket
You
it.
pocket the money. And
that's
you
not
make
how that
way more
works.
money.
I mean, I work for the bonding company,
You're not gonna fucking.
so I can't fuck them because I'm fucking myself.
we'll find out. If they do find out, you're just going to be fired. Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Sure, that does happen, though. Some
Well, I
people do
mean,
that.
it may have been offered a couple of times. Here's a diamond ring. Here's some gold. Here's a fucking gold
You think
tooth.
some of those guys in that field do that sometimes?
Yeah, they
Like,
did
just
it.
get bought off and
They did it.
don't tell the company.
They did. I mean, bro, I've been giving drugs. I mean, you know, here's some fucking cocaine. Here's a kilo. What the fuck? Take this fucking sell it and make some. I'm like,
I'd imagine that would happen a lot though. Like
Yeah.
people would take that shit and then just be shady to the company.
yeah, but I didn't do that. I mean, you know, I made my money because I worked for these motherfuckers and they paid me.